Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Shalom to you all. Welcome, and we say happy Sabbath to you all. I'm your brother Ananias.
Brother Benaiah.
Brother Ezekiel.
We are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel, and it's a pleasure always to be able to come before you each and every Sabbath to give you another uplifting and edifying lesson. With hopes in regard of giving you more knowledge than you had yesterday, so that you will help add to your life to make change and to change the nation of people. But before we get started, we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being His Son, who the world calls Christ. And through His strength, sacrifice, and example, we are all able to be here today to be uplifted and edified in the spirit. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, share this content, because the message that brother gonna bring out tonight is gonna be mighty and something that's impactful in your life and something that you all will need. So tonight's class is gonna be taught by the mighty brother Benaiah. So it's on you, King.
Shalom, Israel, shalom. All praise to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. All praises for the Lord for allowing us to come together on this Friday night Sabbath to be able to congregate together and learn more and be edified in the spirit. Right. So let's get Sirach chapter 33 and verse 17. So the title for the class is mind, body, and spirit. Right. All these things, they intertwine together. And one thing about the mind, body, and spirit is that we have to get all of that together as a nation of people. You know, we have to get our spirit right, our temple right, and ultimately get our mind right too. You know, so one thing about it too, when we come together, the only thing that brings us together as so-called black people is knowledge, right? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You can have different people from different walks of life. You can have people from the streets, people who were nerds, right? People who were in all kind of different activities and sports. All these people, they can come together under wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? Other than that, they can't come together because they come from different walks of life. See, the Lord's word brings us together. It brings us closer. There's no way that we can be as a people operating in this society without God's laws. You see us now, right? But let me get Sirach chapter 33 and verse 17.
The book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 17. Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning.
See, as a nation of people, we don't labor for ourselves. We labor for those that seek learning, right? So, meaning the knowledge that we do have, guess what? We got to give it to others. So when you learn something, you should share it with your brother or your sister, you know, in order to uplift somebody else, in order to change somebody else's life. You know, we can't be self-centered in this truth. See, a lot of our people, when they get knowledge, they like to keep it to themselves. That's a lot of our people in the world. You know, they might know about real estate. They might know about health. They might know about, the Bible, but they would rather keep it to themselves, right? Instead of spreading that knowledge. So we don't labor for ourselves, right? Because guess what happened if we labor for ourselves? Let me get Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. Right? This is what happened if we labor for ourselves, you know, and we don't spread knowledge. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, and it reads, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children."
See, and as a people, we reject knowledge. So anytime knowledge is presented to us as a people, we reject it, right? We choose witchcraft over knowledge, idolatry over knowledge, hatred over knowledge, right? We choose all these different things over wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So when we reject knowledge, hey, guess what comes behind that? A destroyed people. And you can see us destroyed from the inside out, right? From the inside of our guts, right? To having gout, high blood pressure, all the way on the outside, you know. So we destroyed all the way around. Let's play that video with brother Yaki, right? So we're gonna play a video with brother Yaki. This brother's gonna go in on the nations, right, and how they play a mind trick on us, and how they hoodwink us into buying all these different chemicals and all these different pharmaceutical medicines that they try to prescribe that they don't even know anything about, right? Go ahead and play the video, bro.
This is the way to get on. We got the money, we got the power, we got the people, we can influence through promotion and everything. So what they did was Abraham Flexner and the Carnegie and the Rockefeller Foundation went to every different school and offered to give them money, but it came with a price. In order for me to give you money, you have to basically pass a certain test. And this test is how long you've been in school to call yourself a doctor. So they said, look, so he did his whole report. He said, I feel that, you know, they are getting their doctorates in 5 years. I think that's too short. We got to make it 9. You see that? That's why it takes so long to get your doctorates now. I feel like the education system is not right. They're teaching the children wrong about education. They're still teaching about they're still teaching about naturopathy. We want to start pushing petroleum back pharmaceutical drugs. Anybody that's not teaching those, we're going to discredit their schools. So they went around and started discrediting schools. And for those who changed their ways and went into medicine and selling petroleum back medicines, they gave them millions of dollars. They gave them books, they rebuilt their schools, and they gave them accreditations. The ones that said they're going to stick to your basic run and gun healing from earth, getting your earth from the earth, they discredited them and they didn't give them no money. So now you got schools all around the world that's looking pretty, that they got books, they got better curriculum, they got better equipment, and then you got schools that's really healing that look ran down. Man, within 5 years, all the schools that wasn't receiving money, they drove themselves out of business. Some of them actually got with the program, but most of them was driven themselves out of business because they didn't have no money. So once that worked, all of the healing schools is out. So remember, he's still funding the AMA. The AMA now, since there's so much money behind them, they on every single newspaper. They on every broadcast right now. So now their word is becoming golden. So now they're putting out this narrative that if you are selling herbs, you don't know what you're talking about, because it's this new invention, petroleum-backed pharmaceuticals, is really suppressing disease and healing people of all their ailments. So what he did was they had so much money and politics and power that they was actually heard by the federal court. That was heard by the federal court to the point that you can't even sue these people for real. You can sue little doctors, but you can't sue John D. Rockefeller and them because all their money is stuck up in the trust. And you can't penetrate a foreign trust. Remember, they from Germany. His trust is out of Germany. Man, these dudes are smart. Evil, but smart. So, man, so check this out. They got all the schools shut down. So at this same point that they getting the school shut down, they say we need a new curriculum. We got all the medical schools. So now if you look, like for instance, in Atlanta right now, you have something called Spelman College. You know who Spelman is, right? That's John D. Rockefeller's wife. Her last name is Spelman. Last name is Spelman.
That's the man's wife?
That's his wife.
Look at Spelman down south.
Man, Google it right now. Google who spell.
Go look this up real quick.
I never knew Spelman College named after.
Check this out.
Mrs. Laura Spelman Rockefeller.
Ooh!
In 1894, name changes to Spelman Seminary in honor of Miss Laura Spelman Rockefeller.
Let's not talk about Morehouse. Let's not talk about, look, all these medical colleges go, look, you think it goes back to somebody that's black? They don't. All these medical colleges go back to subsidiary and basically names or middle names or third grand. These are named that all these different medical colleges is named after John D. Rockefeller family. And you can trace them back. Just like you can trace back all the presidents to come from one entity, come from one bloodline. You can do the same thing with every medical college. Now, within the last 20 years, there's a bunch of new medical colleges that came up outside of that, which still follow the curriculum, but don't have their name. But when you start studying these names, man, they go back to John D. Rockefeller family, man. They go back to his family names. He owned these schools. That's why if you go and you teach against them, you can get locked up and persecuted, because he sits at the head of the federal directors in the federal Supreme Court. John D. Rockefeller, man, he controlled the damn world, man. Him and the Carnegies. Man, so look, let me show you how they did this though. So they get that. So now they start passing laws. These are people that's not into politics. These are people that don't have no doctrines in medicines, but they have enough money to influence. Because now you got enough money, you can put people in office. You can put certain governments in office. You can create the FBI. Guess who funded the creation of the FBI? Rockefeller did. He funded that. That's why it's an agency. He funded that agency. The FBI would not be the FBI without the Rockefeller Foundation family. He funded it. So what he did was he said, look, we're going to put money into the government system. We're going to put money into the school system. Let's create something called the School Education Board. I think it was in 1911. He created the Educational School Board. So everything that you learn from kindergarten all the way into college is actually the Flexner Report. Flexner, Carnegie, and the Rockefeller family came together with a bunch of scientists and a bunch of psychologists, and they said, we're going to create education. So whenever you learn anything in a public school system, you are being taught. You sitting on John D. Rockefeller lap, you acting like he your grandpa, and he giving you game on how he wants you to be ran. Now, check this out. This is his famous quote. He said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of what? Workers. So you go to school to become a worker. Who you working for? The pharmaceutical companies. And so look, now remember, they broke up his companies, right? When they did the antitrust law against him to make him come work for them. And it worked because he started funding them and putting them in office and stuff. Shell's company, guess who owned it? Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? Procter and Gamble, guess who owned it? Rockefeller. You know what Procter and Gamble sells? They sell your tomatoes. They sells all your food. It sells all your food. Most of your cereal companies like Fruit Loop and them. Guess who's the back owner of them? Rockefeller. But you see, cereals is one of the number one cancer causing agents to children. You know what I'm saying? The milk and farm industry. Guess who owned the most land in America? The Rockefeller and the Carnegie Foundation. All the foods we eating owned by them. What about your toothpaste that got fluoride in it? Guess who owned most of your toothpaste? Rockefeller. What about the soaps and the shampoos you put in your body that causes you all these types of cancer? Guess who owned it? Rockefeller. Let's talk about the perms. The perms, which causes brain cancer. Guess who owned these things? These are all back. Well, let me not say owned, but when you dig and you find who funded these companies, guess who funded all these companies? The Rockefeller Carnegie Foundation. So they had so much money.
And when you look at it, everybody's pretty much familiar with the Rockefellers and the Carnegies, right? These are people who are known for pretty much governing the entire earth as of right now. But let me get Job chapter 9, verse 24, right? Job chapter 9 and verse 24. And Israel, if you think they have your best interests at heart, man, you got to think again. Because they don't have your best interests at heart. Just like he said, they own the perm companies. And a lot of our sisters, they put perms in there. Right, they put chemicals, and they in their hair, and it pretty much. Hey, guess what? They've done studies that show that it has an effect on your brain. It has an effect on your scalp. Now our sisters have bald spots in their hair, and they're wondering why. It's because of all these damn chemicals that they put in the perms. Right, but you got it, King.
Book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked? The so-called white man, right? Whose name is Esau, according to the Bible. This man has been rape, robbing, and pillaging the entire earth and poisoning the entire people of the planet. So at the end of the day, the Lord is going to have their number, but as of right now, they are governing and ruling the earth. The Lord said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This is what you call your wickedness in high places right here, right? Spiritual wickedness in high places, And so you had to ask yourself, who are these people? These are the Edomites, right? These are the Edomites who are doing this. They are the most wicked on the earth, right? But keep playing the video for me, King.
And they gave away charity to so many different people, but it was all for the purpose to actually create the educational school board and to penetrate the colleges. That way you went to school to teach pharmacology, and that way when a doctor see a symptom, he don't teach you how to heal, he teach you how to suppress that symptom, and he always have to give you a prescription to a medicine. And this medicine, they get a percentage off of everything they sell.
You know what I found wild, man, is that they
All right,
don't teach doctrines
you can
about
stop it right there,
nutrition.
King. And he's showing you right now how the pharmaceutical company works. That's pretty much based off of how they can get more money out of you, right? How they can get more funds out of you by suppressing your healing, right? And keeping that disease or that sickness inside of you versus actually trying to heal it. That's why you have herbalists now. You got people like Dr. Sabi, Brother Yaki Awaken, right? Coming on the scene now and showing you, hey, look, you don't need these different things that they're prescribing you. You have actual medicinal herbs that the Lord created out of the earth in order to heal you, you know? So all this knowledge and wisdom is coming out now. The Lord is opening the earth mouth up as a flood and swallowing up that thing. Now
right.
this thing is starting to get exposed. You know, now we're finding out that they're using these different prescriptions to keep you on the bottom, to keep you sick. You know, so we had to come back all the way to the Most High God's word in the things that we do, the foods that we eat, right? The places that we go, the people who we hang around. You know, all of that matters, right? So let's get 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13, right? And Salaki. Yeah, read that for me, King.
Hey,
The book of 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. Be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach.
That's right. We got to gird up the loins of our mind, right? Meaning we have to have our mind strengthened, right? Because ultimately the Lord had already said these things will happen. You know, the Lord already said these things will happen. So in order to be able to go through this society and raise up our family, we have to be, as men, girding up our mind, girding up our loins, girding up our strength and information and knowledge and wisdom. You know, you have to be protected under Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And the Lord is going to continue to pour that knowledge onto you, you know. So, and speaking to the men, as men, we have to learn this knowledge too, you know, when it comes to health, when it comes to wellness, when it comes to taking care of ourselves, you know, because how can we take care of our family if we don't love ourselves first? You know,
That's
so
right.
in order to take care of them, we have to take care of ourselves. So guess what? We have to actually try to eat healthy. We have to try to live right. We have to try to exercise, you know, and it's all going to be a part of bringing our people back to our heritage, you know. Let me get 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 57, and play that next video for me, King. Right, play that next
Which one you
video
got?
for me. The second video.
Which one is it?
The second one I sent you.
Can I bring out a precept right quick?
Yes, sir.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, and let me start with, I'm sorry, brothers. Start with that. Let me get 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So Satan, you know what I'm saying, which is so-called white man, is the adversary of the Most High, which make him Satan. You know what I'm saying? We can't be ignorant of the things that he do to our people, man. And the devices he's using on the planet Earth to basically kill us off. So we can't be ignorant of his devices and the things he do. So we got to be knowledgeable. We got to have our mind together, and have our strength together. We got to learn how to, you know, saying operate while we're in this earth under Satan's hand. If not, he'll have an advantage over us.
Come, all praise for that.
One of people's biggest struggle when trying to eat healthy is the fresh taste of healthy foods and drinks. How can a person heal or recalibrate their palate that has been addicted to salt, sugar, and fried foods their entire life?
Fasting and diet diversity. That's what I would say: fasting and diversity and detoxification.
Hey, first of all, real
Usually
quick,
to reset.
the water. So one of the first things he said is fasting. One of the first things that the Bible will tell you to do is fast when you're sick, right? Why is it that here on this western side of the world, right? Why is it that when we get sick, the first thing they tell us to do is put something on your stomach? You know, why is it that the first thing they tell us to do is, oh, you need to eat more. You need to eat 3 times a day, right? Fasting actually heals you. It heals your body. And what sickness is, it is sickness and disease is nothing mere but evil spirits. So the Lord told you, hey, guess what? If you want to get these evil spirits off of you, fast and pray. So the Lord has already told us the wisdom and knowledge that we need in order to get sickness off, you know, in order to guess what? Get the spirits of eating these, being addicted to these different foods, you know. Hey, guess what? Fast and pray, right? Keep reading. Keep playing the video.
Reset the palate and to reset the taste buds. Usually bitters will happen. You know, you're an island boy, so I know you understand what them bitters do. The bitters actually reset the mechanism of the palate. So I would say go on the fast. You don't even have to do long periods of fast. It's you intermittent fasting. You know, eat between the hours of 12 to 6 every day. And when you eat between those hours, wean yourself off of the addictions like the sugars and the salt potassium ratio, because that's how they get you addicted. They actually are messing with the melanin neural receptors of the brain. It's called the opiate receptors. That's your reward center. They know how to tweak these foods and create them like a drug, for they can actually attach themselves to the receptors, but you can feel like you're being rewarded for eating things that got sweet. Same thing as the epigenetic inheritance that we was taught, transgenerational epigenetic inheritance that we talking about with the rats, where they were punishing them for smelling a sweet savor fragrance, right? Well, they doing us different. They're rewarding us for tasting and smelling these things, and they're tinkering with the salt, the sugar, and the fat ratio of the food, and it's acting like a drug. And these drugs are literally attaching themselves. They pass the blood and brain barrier, and they attach themselves to opiate receptors of the brain. So when you eating these things, even though you're not getting a fulfilling feeling from it, you have your reward centers are becoming open, so you're being rewarded with this taste. So now we're getting addicted to the taste. There's no difference between sugar cane and cocaine. In fact, sugar cane is more addictive than cocaine. You see what I'm saying? So I would say this: fasting. Once you fast or you go on intermittent fasting and you only fast between the hours of 1 to 6, as long as you fasting at least 16 hours a day. So your safe zone is when you get up, don't eat anything, just drink some water or drink some H3O2, which is freshly squeezed juice, right? The moment that the sun is as high as in the sky, which is around 12 p.m., it's called the circadian rhythm. You're supposed to eat with the sun, in the sun. Eat when the sun is the highest in the sky, around 12, and then don't eat nothing when the sun go down. I would say don't eat nothing after 6 p.m. But if you just now getting into this, eat with the sun and stop eating when the sun go down. While you're doing that, your body is going to automatically kick itself into a detoxification mechanism. Glutathione going to start kicking on, opening up something called the NRF2 pathways. This is going to open up all these different pathways in your cells, and it's going to start pushing all of those toxins and all of those different receptors out of the body by way of the liver. So now this is what stops your addiction. Now, how to help this process is resetting your mouth. The best way to reset your taste buds in your mouth is taking on bitters. Bitters. I call them low oxalates because they got high calcium in them, but there's not enough calcium in them to calcify the body or to calcify the pineal gland and stuff like that. The pineal gland. So low oxalates, stuff that's high in bioflavonoids, stuff that's high in biophotons, and these are literally your bitter barks or your bitter roots that come from anthocyanins, or what you would call it. Once these roots grow a flower, the flower turn a certain color. Look for things that grow colorful, like purple colors, yellow colors, red colors, and you eat the roots of these. Usually the roots of these things are very, very bitter. This will start detoxing the mouth. And once you start detoxing the mouth, you can reset your salivary glands. You can start producing something called amylase and trypsin. And these are alkalizing enzymes inside your mouth. So now your mouth will start getting watery, and you can cleanse up your mouth and get rid of all the bad bacteria that's in the mouth. That will actually reset the taste buds. Another thing is too, mind over matter. If you can go through that pain for just a little bit, because it's pain to people when they going on fasts, when they depriving themselves, because you literally can go through withdrawals, headaches, shivering, you can lose iron. People literally be going through withdrawals like they getting off of cocaine, or like they getting off of methamphetamine, or like they getting off of heroin when they stopping these things. Once you get over that hump though, you will see that your taste buds have reset themselves, and now the things that you used to hate actually taste good. So that's what I would do.
Facts.
Come on. And as a nation of people, right? A lot of these foods they give us, it's not good for us, right? Am I saying I don't eat these foods? I do, right? I eat meat, chicken, right? Beef, different things of that nature. But slowly and surely, Lord willing, I'll be weaning myself away from that thing, you know, because as a race of people, we understand that pork, the Lord told us not to eat that thing already. So it's certain foods that are not good for us in our body, you know. It's not good for our spirit or our soul. Now, fast forward to the future, right? The present day that we live in right now, a lot of these different meats are not really good for us either. I will admit that, because of what they put in it, right? You got the animals eating pesticide, you got, and then it goes
Right.
into your food. They creating cows and lamb in the lab, trying to replicate a chicken. It's all kind of different things going on now. And then guess what? You eat your fruits and vegetables now. They got pesticides on them. Now you got to go and buy the non-GMO, the organic, right? You got to look for that. And then when you buy that, it's still not promised that it's going to be good.
Right.
That's why the Lord told us that we would eat our defiled bread over here in this land where we have been taken captive. We're eating our defiled bread now. So Israel, I'm over here to pretty much encourage you to do the best that you can. Do the best that you can when it comes to eating right? Definitely stay away from the pork and all the things the Lord told us that's abominable, right? But hey, let's try to eat right, Israel. Let's try to take care of ourselves. Let's try to love ourselves as we would love our neighbor too, right? So guess what? Encourage your neighbor to do the same thing. And a lot of times when you go on a health journey or try to eat right, or try to live right, guess what? You might have somebody to try to bring you down. That's why it's good to have somebody right next to you to encourage you to keep going, right? To encourage you to, hey, look, now you on the right path. Let's go. Let me do it with you. Let me fast with you. Let me do an intermediate fast with you. Let me make some juices with you, some smoothies, right? Let's eat vegetables together. Let's call each other and go and work out together. So we have to love each other just like that, man. So you have to be around people who want to do the same thing. You had something, brother?
I was going to say this too, what I'm saying? If you can look at it as well, like in our communities, the food we eat, I think it has a chemical imbalance in our mind, because look at the way Jake treated one another. By eating these certain foods, it causes your mind to go off. You'll start being anxious and everything. You're impatient. Certain foods, certain chemicals they use in the food, you could tell it plays a role in the body and the mind of our people. Because most of the time, I'm not supporting that people be vegan, but most of the time you look at vegans, they more in a calm state, relaxed, they're focused. But you look at Jake in the hood eating Skittles, now laters, drinks, and whatever other substance that's not natural, they'll eat those things and they'll wild out. So they'll wild out, kill one another, go crazy. So we got to learn how to afflict ourselves. With fasting. Like you said, maybe intermediate fasting, but we got to afflict our soul. So we won't have to take in these bad foods, these bad chemicals that play in our mind, that play on our bodies.
That's right. And like the brother said, intermediate fasting, that's key. That's key right there. Because over here in America, they teach us to eat 3 times a day. How many times have you gone over your grandma's house and you have to eat something, otherwise you're gonna upset grandma, right? Or you gotta eat something if somebody cook for you. You're rude if you don't eat. You know, and we have to eat when we're hungry, not when we just want to eat. You know, pretty much stuffing ourselves to the max. We can't do that thing over here. You know, we're destroying ourselves from the inside out. From the inside out. Let's go to Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 57.
Can I add one right quick, King?
Yes, sir.
All right, this going back to what you brought out earlier about them sicknesses being diseases. I just want to make a quick reference to it to prove that's actually in the scriptures. All right, this is the book of Luke, chapter 13, verse 1. It says, there were present at the season some that told him of the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifice. Hold on. Where is it? All right, verse 12, excuse me. Luke chapter 13, verse 1. And when Jesus saw her, or Yahweh saw her, he called her to him. Hold on. Verse 11. Salaki. And behold, there was a woman which had a spirit of infirmity 18 years, and was bowed together, and could in no wise lift up herself. So this woman was sick for 18 years. I'm going to jump down to verse 16. And let me see. Verse 16, it says, and ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan hath bound, lo, these 18 years be loose from the bond on the Sabbath day. So this woman was sick for 18 years with an infirmity, but Yahweh healed her. And he was saying, shouldn't this woman who was a daughter of Abraham be loose from the bounds of Satan these 18 years? So he healed this woman, so she was being bound by Satan, letting you know that it was evil or demonic spirits that was actually holding her down where she was sick. And I was just bringing that out to furthermore back the point that the brother was bringing out earlier.
Come on, power praise. Let's get that Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 57.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Keep reading.
Verse 58. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
Verse 59. Yes, sir.
Verse 59. For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life that thou mayest live.
So this is the condition of the battle. Basically, what the Lord is saying right here is that the biggest battle is going to be yourself, right? Warn against yourself, warn against your members. That's why the Lord told you, if your members offend you, cut them off, right? If your right hand offend you, cut it off. Not physically, Israel. Don't go and butcher your arm off. But hey, spiritually, hey, cut that thing off. If your eye offend you, cut that thing out. You know, meaning you have to work on your mind. You have to work on your spirit. So we have to continually better ourselves every day. Examine yourself daily. You know,
that's right.
Whether we be in the faith. Let's go to let's see. Salakia real quick. Hold on. Let's go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 36. Matthew chapter 10, verse 36. Right? So you're gonna war against yourself, you know. But at the same time, the Lord said, a man's foe shall be they of his own household as well. So we have to realize that we are not our own enemy. We're not the only enemy, right? We're not the only enemy. We have other enemies as well, even they of our own household. You know, so because Satan can hop on anybody at any given time. He can hop on your wife, your husband. He can hop on your children. You know, so we have to be aware of these different things and rebuke Satan sharply. Right. Read what you got, King.
Book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
That's
and
right.
he that take it. Okay.
So the Lord said, you're not worthy of him if you love your your mother or your father more than him. Right? Meaning you would put them over the Lord. You would make them your idol and worship them. Do all the things that they say versus what the Most High told you to do. That's what you call putting your father or mother over the Most High and making them more worthy than the Father. All right, you keep reading.
All right, verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
That's right. So we got to push this truth all the way to our death. You know, we got to push this truth all the way to our death, whether somebody likes it or not, whether your family frown their face up at you or not, whether your kids look at you sideways or not, whether your wife or your husband look at you sideways or not. We had to push this truth all the way to the end. You know, so that's going to be a battle in between ourselves. Do I want to serve the Most High or do I want to serve man?
Right, I appreciate it, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, this Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. And that's what we have to do, because when our friends and family see that we're not living the way we used to live, we're not doing things that we used to do, or acting the way we used to act, they're going to feel like we acting strange or we tripping or whatever, and try to pull you back to doing stuff what you used to do. So, you know, and that happens when when you not serving the Lord, you can't see it that way. But once you start trying to change your life, you notice that they're trying to tempt you to being your old self, you know. So not just your family, but your friends, and like you said, your kids and other people in your family who are not living the way you're trying to live right now. They try to get you to go back to the old person. So you have to prepare yourself for temptation. And you're only gonna see it when you're trying to do right. You don't see it while you out there in the world doing wrong. You don't see the temptation. Only when you're trying to serve the Lord. But you got
That's right. That's right. And when these things come to pass, when you see your family turn on you or your friends or anybody that you know, hey, just know the Lord already spoke on these things, right? The Lord said, when you come to serve the Lord, like the brother just read, prepare your soul for temptation. So you're going to be tempted by your homeboys or your homegirls to come back and smoke that one blunt that you never did smoke, right? Oh, you left a gram of weed over here. Yeah, it's been a year ago. I know. I kept it in the freezer for you, and I pulled it out. All kind of different things, man.
Damn.
Are you still with the Israelite stuff? Oh man, I hate to hear that. Man, we was going out to party Friday. You want to get down with us? Hey, you can get in free with us. We got a section and everything. We're gonna pop bottles tonight and everything on the Sabbath. They might tell you it's on the Sabbath. I know you say you celebrate the Sabbath, but we got some other plans. You down? And ultimately that's a temptation that you have to fight. Even with the food, the pork. Hey, you might go over your family house and they might try to give you something for free. Right. Matter of fact, I knew somebody, they offered him a biscuit. It had pork on it. And the brother was trying to get away. Not that he was in the truth, but he was still trying to get away from pork. So they offered him a free biscuit, but he said he didn't want to offend them and make them mad or something like that. And he took the doggone biscuit, man. Wow. So Israel, you can't be offended you can't be scared to offend somebody by saying no. No, I don't partake in this different thing. You don't even have to explain unless it's our people. I mean, if you're at work, you don't really have to explain. You just say, hey, no, I don't want it. And if it's our people and you be led by the Spirit to explain, then all praises. But we have to fight these different temptations that come to us. And the brother got a precept on that. All right. Good luck. Go to.
I got
yes, sir. You got it.
Okay, I was just going to hit Matthew chapter 18 and verse 2. Verse 3, it says, verse 2, and Jesus called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever shall humble himself as the little child, the same is greatest, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So, you know what I'm saying, we have to come back to the Most High in that type of spirit. And a lot of things, a lot of times Israel in the world, and even some of our people in the truth, we think we got it all, we know it all, you know what I'm saying, we already got, I know this and that, our mind already set on the ways of this world. So we don't have that childlike mentality. Christ saying right here, you got to have a childlike mentality, you know what I'm saying, when you coming back into this truth, when you coming back into the understanding and dealing with the things of this world. Because if you focus yourself on the ways of this world, you're gonna be just like the world. You know, the world, hey, they go to strip clubs and do what they want. The world takes Xanaxes and different drugs like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be different from the world. You got to be like a child. Humble yourself, come back to this truth so you can enter into the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, if you have that Christian American mindset, then you're gonna fall. You know. So you have to have that mindset like a child.
Come, all praise, brother. Can you play that third video for me?
All right.
Right. So we're gonna go into fasting, right, and actually like intermediate fasting, and yeah, we're gonna get into that, right.
Which one you wanted? Was that the one with the
Yeah,
celery?
you can get this one first, and then the other two in order to.
All right. This shit is on the screen. Let's get it.
Hayaki awakened and said he healed all his diseases. Let's try this. So I want you to do 7 green apples. The apples is going to stretch the cells and get all the toxins out of the cells. We're going to do 1 stock of celery. This is going to remineralize your whole entire body. The celery sticks is going to give you all of the bile salts that you need. It's full of natural sodium. Use a pinch of cilantro. What cilantro is going to do is remove all of those different metals from the cells. You're going to use a handful of parsley so you can filtrate out properly. You're going to use only a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. That's going to cleanse out the vasal. It's going to make sure it opens and dilates the artery walls and the vascular walls to help blood flow and pump very good. And you're going to use a thumb of ginger. Hold on. You got 2 cucumbers without the skin. That's going to help you hydrate more. And then a whole lemon. Let's try it. Ooh, that cayenne is kicking. But it's not a bad tasting combination except for that burn, that cayenne. Ooh. Hope I ain't put too much, but it's gonna do what it need to do. Dang. I'm gonna.
So Israel, you know that right there. If brothers and sisters didn't know, that's Yaki Awaken genetic juice, right? You should definitely go check it out. See what the brother is talking about, the way it healed him. See all the different things that it did for him and for all the people who he's put on to that. You know, so definitely check that out, Israel, because we had to heal our body. So we had to use the herbs, the fruits, the vegetables, and all these different things that the Lord put in front of us to heal ourselves. But give me that third video now, right?
All right.
The third video. So, like I said earlier, you have to love yourself, Israel, right? And you have to love your neighbor as well, you know, because how can you take care of your neighbor when you're not taking care of yourself? How can you take care of your neighbor from the grave? You know, right? Go ahead and play that, bro.
Today's health and fitness trends, you've probably heard of fasting. But what's actually happening to your body during a fast? And how long do you have to fast to get the benefits? In this video, we'll look at the effects of fasting from the time you finish eating all the way up to 48 hours without food. Hey guys, it's Colin here with MindHive, an online learning platform teaching you how you can tap into your biology to live longer, stronger, and happier. We upload new videos every week, so if you enjoy the content here, hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up or leave a comment below. Before you experiment with fasting, quick disclaimer, you may want to consult with a health professional first. This might be especially relevant if you're pregnant or have a chronic illness. So about an hour after you finish eating, your blood sugar peaks as glucose from the food you just ate is swirling around in your bloodstream. Your body deals with this extra glucose by secreting insulin, which helps store glucose as glycogen in your liver and muscles or as fat in various parts of the body. After 6 to 8 hours of not eating, whatever food you did eat will have passed through the stomach and small intestine. People often notice an uptick in their energy levels at this point because their bodies no longer have to spend a bunch of resources breaking down food. Around the 12-hour mark, you are officially in a fasted state. This is marked by a significant drop in insulin levels since there's no longer any circulating glucose that the body has to deal with. When insulin levels in the body drop below a certain point, your liver starts converting fat into ketones to use as a source of energy. This further increases energy levels as ketones are a more efficient source of energy when compared to glucose. Ketones also stimulate the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, in the brain. BDNF, in turn, has been shown to stimulate neurogenesis, where new neurons and neuronal connections are formed. This is particularly exciting news when it comes to the study of long-term memory and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. All of these effects continue as the fast is prolonged, but around the 20-hour mark, the body starts producing endogenous antioxidants. Whoa, all right, now you're scaring me with big words, Colin. Don't worry. All you need to know is that these antioxidants reduce inflammation in the body, which can prevent chronic disease. Another process that occurs at this point is something called autophagy. Derived from the Greek language, it essentially means self-eating. Sounds pretty scary, doesn't it? But keep in mind that your body is incredibly sophisticated. It doesn't just start eating every cell in sight. It prioritizes eating the cells that are old and damaged. So the process is a kind of cellular cleansing and might even be an effective means of cancer prevention. You shed the unnecessary baggage and emerge a leaner, cleaner version of yourself. After about 48 hours, levels of human growth hormone peak, stimulating lean muscle growth, greater physical and cognitive performance, and cellular repair. Now you might be wondering at this point, Colin, how can I be building muscle if I'm not eating any protein? The truth is we need our muscles most in times of famine, and it's absurd to think that our ancestors would have evolved muscles that required constant fuel when they might not know where their next meal is coming from. This cultural obsession we have with constantly eating isn't backed by any real science and probably does more harm than good in a lot of cases. It's important to note that all of the effects we've mentioned thus far continue as the fast is prolonged past the 48-hour mark, but that they exhibit diminishing returns. For example, most researchers agree that the fat-burning effects of fasting peak between 12 and 16 hours. In much the same way, studies on autophagy and fasting reveal that the peak levels of autophagy occur between 24 and 36 hours of not eating, after which point there's a significant drop-off. Thus, it's important to be clear about why you're fasting in the first place. Are you trying to control your weight? Do you want to increase focus and brain health? Do you want to prevent disease or maybe improve longevity? So there you have it. Now you have a basic understanding of what's going on at each stage of fasting. It's my hope that you can use this knowledge to find the fasting window that works best for you. As always, if you enjoyed the content here, be sure to give the video a like and hit.
Go ahead and pull up the next video for me too, King. So that's just showing you the science behind fasting. Now, we don't just lean on science, but we can show in the scriptures why it's important to do the things that the Lord said, right? Just like if we pull up not to eat certain foods like pork, right? We can show you the science behind why you shouldn't eat it, right? But the same thing, when you fast, guess what? Your body tends to rid itself from diseases, sicknesses, which is nothing but merely an evil spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the importance of fasting, you know. And a lot of Israel, I would encourage you to intermediate fast, kind of like when Yaki, he was saying to eat when the sun is at the highest point, and stop eating at a certain point. Allow your body to heal itself. The Lord created your body to heal itself. The Lord did that thing, right? And the Lord is the healer of all things. But Israel, hey, guess what? we should start practicing different things like that. You know, hey, first of all, consult your doctor. I say that. Consult your doctor, you know, but we definitely want to look into intermediate fasting and then fasting pretty often to rid ourselves from different evil spirits, right?
Hey, got bring out one script.
Yes, sir.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 31 and verse 20. It says, sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He rises early and his wits are with him. But the pain of watching and calor and pains of the belly are with an unsatiable man. But it says, I wanted to get there where it said, sound sleep come of moderate eating. So, you know, people saying we got to eat moderately, you know. It said he rises early. Because you notice if you do all that overeating, you know, it makes you lazy, you know, and we just have to take in consideration how much we eat. I'm guilty of it. I know I eat too much sometimes, but I just wanted to bring that out.
Bring out verse 19, King.
Verse 19.
Yes, sir.
All right. It says verse 19, a very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetches not his wind short upon his bed.
But that's going into how a man that's well nurtured, he don't need a lot of food. You know what I'm saying? A well nurtured man, a little is sufficient for him. And that going into what he was talking about with the fasting. You don't need a whole lot. Like the brother was saying, Yaki, when the sun is up at its highest point, that's when you should eat. And then you shouldn't eat no more after the sun go down. It make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Your body is at its key point, the hottest point of the day, the most active part of the day for you, or as us, or people. When we most active, when the sun is in the air. But for a man that's well nourished, you really don't need a lot. And if you actually pay attention, if you're not at work and you off at home and you just got some things to do around the house, check out how many times you actually eat when you at the house, when you ain't at work. You'll see that you don't eat a lot. Because a man well nourished, a little is sufficient for him. You'll go a whole day, you might eat one time. But if you at work, your mind is programmed to eat 3-4 times a day just because that's how it's set up. You eat at morning, lunch, and then you know what I'm saying, at dinner time. But just bringing that out to show you, the scriptures line up to show you that you don't have to eat all day every day. But it's on you, King.
That's right. And you know, they tell you, like I say, Israel, consult your doctor. You know, you have some people with health issues and different things of that nature. So you have to consult your doctor. But ultimately, you know, they tell us here in America that breakfast is the most important part of the meal. Breakfast is the most important part of the day, right? The most important meal that you would eat, rather. You know, so there's a lot of different narratives that have been pushed to ultimately destroy our people and to keep our people in a gluten mind state, right? And to destroy us from the inside out. So we have to search all things, right? All the things that we have been taught, we have to question that and go back and research and study to basically to see if what they taught us was right. Because a lot of things they taught us was wrong. For instance, like the food pyramid. On the food pyramid, you got milk on there, right? You got all kind of different things. But, you know, milk is pretty much nothing but mucus, you know. So if you suffer from having like a lot of mucus or a stuffy nose or different things of that nature or asthma, look into what milk can actually do to your body, right? And how much mucus it builds up in your body. You know, look into those different things. Play that last video for me, King.
I had a precept too, King.
Yes, sir.
When you was going into search, you got to search out certain things. We definitely do. Being in this captivity, you know, saying we under so much wickedness Here in Babylon, you got to go back and search, go back to the beginnings, go back to the origin of things, because if not, you're gonna get messed up with Esau devices. This is Job chapter 8 and verse 8. It says, "For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thy soul." Excuse me, Salaki, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. So you got to go back to our forefathers, what they were doing, how they cleansed their body, how they healed themselves. They healed themselves mainly with fasting, if you read, and with eating good food. They wouldn't eat a lot of this processed food of today, and they didn't eat a lot of dainty foods from the other nations of people. So you got to go back to the search of your forefathers, search out the history of what they did.
Right.
FDA worker on truth about
So how are
fasting
you working
workout.
out if you ain't got the food in your system to give you that energy in the morning? Do you work out in the morning? Or do you work out
In the morning.
after?
In the morning.
So that's called you're doing a fasted workout.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you still have all the energy.
Yeah, it's clinically proven when you do a fasted workout, you actually can build more muscle.
Man.
Yeah. If you have food in your system while you're working out,
It's digesting.
it's digesting while you're trying to work too. Whereas if I don't have food in my system, now all of that energy is being shifted towards the muscle, towards circulation, all of these things. So you see what I'm saying? So that's why I always work out, if I can, fasted.
Okay.
Because now all of that energy, not only is that energy being shifted,
Yeah.
but now my metabolism is different too.
Okay.
Because now all I'm doing is pulling the sugar out of the muscle, the glucose out of the muscle, to burn that. Okay, initially.
Yeah.
And then once I burn that out, now all it's doing is burning fat.
Oh my gosh.
Whereas if you got food in your system, it's only going to be working on the food.
See that? It's just exposing more of the lies that we've been taught. That we got to put some on our stomach before we go work out. Got to be able to eat so you can have some energy. A lot of energy, like the brother was saying, you get from fasting. Now, when you first start fasting, you might feel a little weak. You might have to build your spirit up, right, a little bit. But ultimately, that's your body reacting to you not eating. It's just like if brothers and sisters ever tried to get off of coffee before, right? You start experiencing headaches, start experiencing withdrawal. And that's what a lot of different things we try to pull ourselves away from, So the same thing with fasting too. When you try to tell your body, hey, I don't need to eat, guess what? You might feel a little weak at first. You might go through a few different trials and errors at first, but if you keep trying, if you keep doing it, then you'll start to experience, you'll start to get strengthened up in that thing. Next thing you know, you'll be fasting all the time, intermediate fasting every day. You'll be maybe fasting once a week, maybe once a month, and then we just ultimately build our spirit up by doing so. But Israel, the things that we have to do, we have to fast. A lot of people probably heard of juicers, and we need to get juicers, right? If you don't like to eat certain fruits and vegetables, guess what? You can juice them and turn them into a drink, and then drink them down, and you still get the same minerals that you would as you would from eating it. Matter of fact, you probably get more, right? I've seen some research done on that. You will more than likely get more because your body don't have to break it down. It's already broken down going into your body. So and guess what? You can get into smoothies. You can make some smoothies. You can make some kale, spinach. There's all kind of different things you can do to get these nourishing things in your body, right? You can use the herbs. You got the sisters who are in A.O.I. They familiar with herbs. They actually know herbs that can heal certain things. So guess what, Israel? We got to look into all these different things. You got coconut water. And Israel, we had to get in the gym too, right? We had to get in the gym and exercise our body, right? You don't have to go in there and try to be the next top model, or you don't have to go in there to be a jerk, as they would say. You don't have to go in there to do that, but exercise your body. Always be in the mind state of progress. Hey, if you don't like to exercise in the gym, guess what? Do calisthenics. If you don't like doing that, hey, stretch, practice on your breathing, you know. And ultimately, hey, we just gotta all around do the best that we can while we're here, you know, eating right, trying to get our mind right and our body right and our spirit right as well. And that's something I'm working on. And I'll be honest with that. I'm working on that, but I'm encouraging everybody to get on this health journey, right? That we're gonna take. Right?
That's right.
Get on the health journey, you know, find a friend that's gonna walk with you in that walk, that ain't gonna give up on you, you know, that ain't gonna offer you a beer the first day you try to get on your health journey. You know, if you don't.
Let me bring out precept, King.
Exactly.
All right. Put it back on the screen. This is going into one of our forefathers, Moses. Just to go back to how strong our brothers and sisters were back in the day, you know what I'm saying, when they had real knowledge that we are striving to get back to in these last days. But back in the beginning, let me go to the book of Exodus, chapter 34, verse 27. And it says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, write these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments." So I brought this out to show our brothers and sisters that Moses was up there in Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, he actually did that twice. You know what I'm saying? But this brother did that for 40 days, 40 nights. You know what I'm saying? We in the last days struggling just to do one day. He did it for 40 days, 40 nights. All right, let me read a little more and then I jump to another precept. Verse 29, it says, "And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of the testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moses wist not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him." So while Moses was up there getting the words, getting the commandments, he was being strengthened because he was in the presence of the Most High. Being in the presence of the Most High, he was made stronger, where his skin began to glow. He was taken to another level. All right. So let me go to Deuteronomy chapter 8 right quick. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3. And it reads, "And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee to know that man doeth not live by bread only, but by the word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord do man live." So Moses was in Mount Sinai getting the word from the Most High, and he was becoming stronger. We was in the wilderness being not tempted, but proved to see whether or not we were going to live to keep the commandment. I should have started on verse 2. The Most High, I'll read it right quick. Deuteronomy 8:2, "And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou would keep his commandments or no." So he fed us with the things that we never had before, and he let us know that we're supposed to live by the words that come out of his mouth. So when Moses was in Mount Sinai, he was in the presence of the Lord, getting the word. And he was up there for 40 days and 40 nights without eating or drinking. He was made stronger than he was prior to coming up there. All right. So I want to go to one more, and then I'll be done. It's Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 7. Deuteronomy 34 and 7 right quick. Just to show you how powerful it is when you involved in seeking the Lord day in and day out. This is Deuteronomy 34 and 7. It said, "And Moses," so this is going into where I started at 5. "So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab over against Beth Peor. But no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes was not dim, nor his natural force abated." So Moses was a strong brother all the way up into 120. and he was able to fast 40 days and 40 nights twice. That's what's written. He might have did it more than once or more than twice, but it was written that he did it twice. And when he did it, he was in the presence of the Lord, where his strength was built up to another level that most men are not able to or haven't seen. I ain't gonna say they're not able, but they haven't seen. But this brother stayed strong, and his eyes didn't go bad. None of that. He wasn't weakened where he needed a cane to walk. None of that. He died at 120 years old with his strength still. Why? Because he was in the presence of the Lord, and he fasted. That's what I was trying to bring all this out to say. Through fasting, you build strength. Even though when you let go of the foods of this world, you think that you're becoming weak, you're actually gaining strength because you're learning that you can do things that you never did before, and you're breaking down the impurities that plague your body. But when you do these things, you are actually becoming stronger. That's all I want to bring out. I know that was long-winded. It's a lot.
God. Hey, all praise for that thing. All praise. That's a good point. So his natural strength was never abated, man. And that's ultimately due to the Most High. You know, ultimately due to the Most High. And I'm sure he wasn't eating McDonald's either. So let's see. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16 and verse 26. Unless and the brother got something they want to add before we end the class.
I just wanted to go here, if you don't mind, King.
Yes,
it's a website I went on talking about fasting and how it's good for the mind. And you know, it's very important that you do it because when you fast, it helps the mind and the body. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that Israel suffer with here is, you know, a lot of, you know, things that's going on in this world consistent because of the ways we've been eating, the things we've been putting on our mind. I said that earlier, but it's just this website. It's linkedin.com, and it says the Warrior Philosopher's Guide to Fasting for Mental Clarity. It says fasting can have a significant impact on mental clarity and focus. And if you notice, Israel, majority of the time when you're fasting, you have a clarity once you get through. You can focus more, your words come out better, you're thinking better. I've noticed it myself, you know, and I know in other brothers as well. You have more of clarity. It says when the body is in a fasted state, it experiences a decrease in insulin levels and increase in glucagon levels. This results in the body switching to a fat burning mode, which can lead to a greater sense of alertness and focus. So truly, when you fast, it helps with your mind, help with clarity, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately help with your body, you know, because if you get your mind right, you're going to ultimately want to eat right and you want to do right. Your behavior method is not going to be the same. So yes, it's very, very important that we do these things to help our mind and our body, man. Very, very important.
That's right. That's right. You got that Wisdom of Solomon? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16 and verse 26.
I got it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 26. That thy children, O Lord, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits that nourish man, but it is thy word, which preserveth them that put their trust in thee.
Right. So
That's right.
it's not of the things that we do, right? But it's of the Lord, right? Guess what? The Lord can have you to eat these herbs, to eat these fruits, to heal you, right? So Israel, don't get caught up in you healing yourself. It's all of the Lord at the end of the day. So when you put these good fruits, the good vegetables, juices, and smoothies into your body, hey, you thank the Lord for that thing. You thank the Lord for that healing, right? Because it's not of you. It's not a Yaki, right? It's not of Dr. Sabi, right? It ain't of your favorite philosopher. It's of the Most High God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know, so Israel, you know, we had to seek out learning, right? We had to get our mind right, our body right, and our spirit right, right, together as a nation before we come back into the land that the Lord has promised unto us, if it be his will. And with that, I say, Kwam Yashala, all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. I'm Brother Benaiah.
Brother Yakub.
Brother Ananias.
Brother Ezekiel.
And with that, we say, Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.